Hey guys, so this is part 1 to a new What If I'm uploading. Now, basically this is a merger. This is What If Deku was Iceman, but more or less I'm going to title it What If Deku was a Todoroki. Now Deku's going to have a ice quirk, but a fire quirk as well, but I'll get into his quirk later on. So basically Deku was born into the Todoroki family. Now guys, if you've seen my latest post or my latest, tweet to like the community chat or like the community post, you'll see how I'm was working on what if Deku was Superman's son, what if, and also I will be uploading what if Deku was in a Vampire and Werewolf School part 4 later, the same time, near the same time as I upload what if Deku was Superman's son. But yeah, so guys, hope you enjoyed this what if, and let's get into it. So basically, Deku's born into the Todoroki family, all the same. And well, not like the same as Todoroki. Now, Deku's actually going to be born a twin to Todoroki. Now, pretty much Deku was born a twin to Todoroki, and Todoroki and Deku come out the womb. Now, Deku was born with blue eyes like Endeavor and red hair, but Deku also has, brown roots where his hair grows. Like, the stems where his hairs, start to grow, is white. So the tips of his hair, like this, the black in his hair is white, and the rest of it is red, like this, color red. So basically, Deku, is the sun Endeavor of Sun. And pretty much Deku, it has about the same quirk setting as Todoroki. Todoroki's grown up with, half and half hair, and since, Endeavor sees that Deku has some different type of hair, he thinks that he has some sort of strong quirk. So he trains both of them, mostly Todoroki because he has a hair that reflects his quirk. And pretty much Deku, starts, pretty much using his quirk as well. Now, Deku's quirk is going to be as strong as Todoroki's, and will be, twice stronger than his. So pretty much Todoroki and Deku train together and fight together. And pretty much eventually Deku, develops his quirk. Deku's quirk is called, basically, fire, ice fire. Pretty much Deku, when Deku's quirk, emerged, Deku was in the, kitchen, and his twin brother and his other, siblings were eating, and Deku started feeling so hot. His nose started bleeding, and Deku fell down to the ground, having some sort of seizure or something. They tried to pick him up, but he was burning hot. Todoroki tried to pick him up, but he was too hot, and he, burned Todoroki's hands. So pretty much, what was it? Dabi, or Dabi tried to pick him up, but Dabi got burned the second he picked up Deku. He was, pretty much, shocked that Deku had all this strength. And pretty much Deku, pretty much erupts into flames, and, is going supernova at this point. He's like having, he's going above and beyond with his fire powers. Basically, Deku's burning everything around him, and eventually Deku's, brother, Todoroki uses his ice quirk to freeze Deku, or to try to cool him off. It does work. Endeavor shows up and he saves, he tries to, stop Deku. Pretty much, Deku's mom steps in and pretty much freezes Deku, cooling him down and making him snap back in reality. Now we skip a couple of weeks and Deku develops his quirk, and he's just told what his quirk is. It's called it's called Icy Hot. Yeah, it's called Icy Hot. It's not called half and half like Todoroki's quirk, it's called Icy Hot. Pretty much Deku's quirk is pretty similar to his brother's, but also very stronger. Pretty much, his quirk has about 2 limits. If he uses his quirk, the Deku's quirk has the same limits that his brother has, but his limits are a little bit more, higher. Not, low like Todoroki's. So pretty much Deku's quirk is that Deku can emerge himself and cover himself into flames or turn into literal fire, and manipulate manipulate his cells to turn into literal fire, or manipulate his body and to encase himself into ice or turn himself into a ice humanoid, kind of like Iceman and Human Torch. Deku can cover himself in flames, but also turn himself into flames. If Deku is in fire form longer than about 2 hours, Deku's body starts to burn like he's actually set on fire. Now, Deku does have a high tolerance to flames, so if Deku was lit on fire by something else, it wouldn't hurt him at all. He could just, extinguish it. Deku doesn't have any pyrokinesis or ice manipulation. He can only control the ice he makes or the fire he makes. So yeah, kind of like how Todoroki's quirks work. So pretty much Deku can focus to control other forms of ice and fire. But yeah, so basically, for Deku's ice form, it's a different situation. On Deku's ice form, he can transform himself into an icy coat of, thick ice as strong as steel. Ice so strong. He can pretty much encase himself into ice strong as steel so he can be invulnerable. Pretty much Deku isn't invulnerable in his fire form if if he uses his fire body attack. But if he turns himself into flames, he is very exposable and very weak to water or any type of ice attack. So if Deku goes into full body or full fire form, Deku can get washed away, drowned, or any type of get extinguished and die. Or Deku can so basically, guys, Deku, gets ready, and basically Deku's quirk is pretty strong. Now, for his ice quirk, he's invulnerable. His skin is as strong as steel, and he can boost his, ice powers to make ice golems, also make ice constructs, and turn the moisture in the air into ice. So Deku doesn't make his own ice, like Todoroki. He can use the moisture in the air to make his ice around his body, or the moisture in his body to make ice around himself. Deku can also turn himself into ice, making him very vulnerable if he was get melted or shattered. So yeah, so basically Deku was only thing that's different about Deku is that Deku can shoot ice beams, all sorts of other stuff. Deku can also make ice constructs like Todoroki's big you know ice pillar, but also at the same time Deku can basically live in a very cold environment for years without getting any type of well fallback. So Deku can live in Antarctica in a full on you know pretty much tank top and not get frostbite. So Deku is incredibly durable to ice more than fire. So Deku, for his fire form, Deku is vulnerable to fire, not for a limited amount of time, forever. But so pretty much the max time Deku can live in ice, or being encased in an ice environment is about 10 months. For a fire, if Deku was like in a volcano, he could probably live in it for about 2 weeks until his body starts feel the precautions of fire. Now he could probably boost himself and turn himself into fire, then he can stay in that form for as long as he wants. But after he reaches that 2 hour mark, Deku's going to well you know, burn alive. So pretty much Deku has all the powers of Human Torch in his fire form, and he can fly, shoot beams of fire, and also he can go supernova. Now Todoroki's quirk is going to be a little bit modified to make them, kind of similar, or at the same power level. So pretty much Todoroki's pretty much ice power, or I mean Todoroki's fire power can actually go supernova as well, like Deku's power. Pretty much Deku can go supernova, burn all sorts of stuff, and melt it. He can even melt concrete if Deku really wanted to. So Deku also, can easily fly with his fire power. Deku can also make the ice, slides. Sorry guys, my dad's phone was ringing like super loud. He was outside with his phone, so I had to pick that up. So let's get back into the video. So basically, Deku's quirk is going to be very strong. Todoroki's quirk is going to be able, his fire quirk is going to be able to go supernova, but anything else, Todoroki's quirk isn't modified at all. So for Deku, Deku's pretty OP. Now, Deku could switch to fire and ice forms at, the speed of light, or, just switch, at multiple times. But he switches too much, like, I don't know, 50 times a minute, or 50 times, an hour. Deku can overheat or overcool his body and have some sort of seizure. So yeah, so Deku is very prone to having seizures if he uses his, if he switches to fire and ice too fast. So yeah. So basically, Deku, you know, is incredibly strong. Now, in his ice form, Deku has, all the Iceman powers. If you want to know Iceman's powers, just look it up. Now, he can manipulate ice, all other stuff. But Deku also has superhuman strength and durability. Like I said, he has the skin. His ice is as thin, his ice is as durable as steel or metal. So pretty much Deku has superhuman strength, agility, and durability. Now, for Deku's whole entire, strength part, Deku can basically punch through a concrete wall and, rip a normal person into two. Or crush somebody by, punching them in the chest. Something like that. So Deku has about, a medium strength of Wolverine's superhuman strength. Now, for Deku's whole entire, fire strength, Deku can, in theory, the doctor said that Deku could, hold back the Empire State Building with all his supernova strength combined. Now, Deku can fly at the speed of light. Deku can also breathe in space and survive the core of the sun. But at the same time, Deku has to hold his breath for a pretty long time to be in space. And Deku can, in his ice form, survive in space. So Deku can use the ice around him, the air that comes off his ice, to basically communicate it or turn it into, more air for him to breathe. So Deku can make an ice spacesuit for himself and survive in space. So Deku is pretty strong that way. Now Deku, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all of Deku's powers. Now, let's get into the video. Now, basically, Deku, is incredibly strong. And Endeavor, sees that his brother and him are kind of the equal amount of strength. So so Endeavor trains Deku, there's a teeny bit, like 1% more than Todoroki. But Todoroki, is still, goes through that torment and seeing that, Endeavor expects both of them to go the best they possibly can. Because Endeavor, seen, or some part of Endeavor knows that Deku's going to be the number one hero, because come on, he has all that power. But pretty much Endeavor already thinks, Deku already has a amazing quirk, and Todoroki already has a quirk like Deku. But, Todoroki doesn't have as much drawbacks as Deku. Deku has a lot of, overachieving quirks that make up for his drawbacks, but then again, Deku can have seizures, but Todoroki can't. So, pretty much Endeavor sees that Deku and Todoroki have the same power level. So he trains them the same way and, abuses them. Now, for the whole entire burning part of Todoroki, getting burned by his mom, that does still happen, but Deku sees it happening and pretty much steps in to save, his brother. His mom tries to burn Deku because Deku has that red hair like his father, but, white roots like his mother. But Deku gets the upper hand and turns the boiling hot water into ice, and pretty much yells, Dad's name, or Endeavor. So Endeavor, walks in there and sends his mother back to, the same institutional, like, the crazy person place. And pretty much, yeah. The Todoroki, is still close friends with his brother, but Todoroki doesn't like how his brother uses his fire side so, casually. Pretty much, Deku, well, uses his fire and ice quirk all the time. They cook food, cool down food, do some, housely chores, stuff like that, or get to school. Now, Todoroki goes to school with his brother, and pretty much Deku and Todoroki have the same amount of, popularity, but Deku does, interact with people a lot more than, Todoroki. So, when the whole entire UA thing comes up. So, guys, basically Deku, goes, when the UA thing runs along, Deku gets the same, recommendation like Todoroki, and pretty much they go to UA. They get to UA, and pretty much Deku and Todoroki are pretty famous because they're, they're the sons and the most strongest sons out of, a couple of children of Endeavor. Now, Dabi still becomes a villain, but Deku actually does keep in touch with Dabi. Now, Deku never knew that Dabi became a villain. He just knew Dabi just moved out or, ran off. Now, Dabi knew how his father was treating... Dabi knew how, Endeavor treated him. So, Deku... Deku knew how Dabi was being treated by Endeavor. So, pretty much, Deku, stand by and help Endeavor. I mean, Dabi sometimes sending him some money, cash, and also keeping in touch with him by calling him. So basically, Deku at this point didn't know that Dabi became a villain, but we'll get into that later. Now, guys, you can go in the comments and say, should Dabi become a hero, and pretty much, stay at the League of Villains, or just stay a villain? Because I'm mostly, I'm just trying to see how I can, make this into a very interesting one. Now, pretty much, Deku goes to UA, and goes from Class 1A. Deku sits right next to his brother, and I want to, now guys, it's gonna be 2 ships, but I don't know who to pick. So I'm mainly trying to ship, Deku with Momo, but I probably will be shipping Momo with Todoroki. Now, this is what if everybody's gonna be shipped with somebody in Class 1A. And like Hiroshima with Minato or something like that. But pretty much, Deku would be shipped with somebody in Class 1A. Now, you guys can decide. I'm thinking that I should ship Deku with Jiro, or ship Deku with Momo, but I mostly might, ship Momo with Todoroki. But, I'm thinking about shipping Deku with Ochaku, but I don't know that, because mostly everybody's saying, oh, Chaku's a gold digger. I don't see that, but it's kind of to her character. She says she's doing it all for the money so she can provide for her family. So I don't really know why people think she's a gold digger. I haven't seen a video that says she's a gold digger, so I don't know what it's about. Go in the comments, guys, and tell me why is she a gold digger. But yeah, so yeah, guys, so yeah. So guys, now Deku will either get shipped by Kendo, because I am gonna be paying Kendo in Class 1A. Now Mineta ain't gonna be getting into Class 1A because come on, his sticky balls don't really do anything. They don't even stick to stuff, and sticky balls just sound, weird. So basically, you know, Kendo's gonna take Mineta's place. So Kendo's gonna be in the Class 1A. Now, I might ship Deku with Kendo or ship Deku with some sort of pro hero. But yeah. So guys, we begin. I hope you get comfy and let's get into it. I'm about to dive right into it. So basically Deku, gets ready and pretty much, all the rest of the class of UA walk in the class 1A. Now pretty much Deku starts flirting and Todoroki, gets, looked at by a couple of girls, thinking that he's cute. I think Deku and Todoroki are incredibly cute. Now, Deku looks exactly the same. Just, I explained how Deku looked. Pretty much Deku, gets tries to get some moves on some girls. So Deku takes a liking to Kendo and another girl in Class 1A, but he doesn't know who to, try to approach. So pretty much Deku, gets interrupted because, Azawa walks in Class 1A and explains that the class are doing Quirk assessments and they go outside. They go outside and Deku's told to throw the ball first. Deku grabs the ball and goes in his ice form, grabbing the ball and throwing it using his ice strength to pretty much get a pretty good score overall, getting first place. For the long jump, Deku transforms into his fire form, and flies up over the sand pit. For the whole entire, the race, Deku transforms to his fire form again and just flies past everybody because he can fly at the speed of light in his fire form, but he needs a little bit of momentum to get that speed. So pretty much for the grip test strength, Deku transforms into his ice form and pretty much you know gets a pretty good score. Now, overall, Deku gets first place, Todoroki gets second place, and Bakugo gets third place. Now, so yeah, guys. So everybody goes back home. Deku and Todoroki get picked up by their limousine and get drove home. Now, pretty much Deku, goes in his room, and Todoroki and Deku share, a room because Todoroki is close, and pretty much Todoroki trusts his life with his brother's hands, and Deku trusts his life with Todoroki's hands the same way. They're pretty much, tight. I mean, like they would literally die for each other. Like they're so tight, like brotherly bond of blood. Pretty much, yeah, so they literally take a bullet for each other. Like, it's that tight. So pretty much, yeah. So Deku already has his head. Because Deku, he's eventually gonna get married, and Deku's obviously gonna have his best man be Todoroki. So yeah. So basically, Deku, sits, goes to sleep that night, and next night, they wake up, and Endeavor tells him to go, Endeavor's assistant tells him to get ready for school. Because Endeavor barely is at home because, he's a hero. So guys, I'm gonna leave it off here. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And guys, I will be uploading What If Deku was Superman's son later after this video is uploaded. And I also will be uploading part 4 to What If Deku was in a vampire world school. Now guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And well, have a great day. And as always guys, have a blessed day.